We have today Sivan Sisay. Sivan Sisay is someone who is from terms of Channel 11, Reshet Yud Aleph, she's a personality. She covered criminology, arts, entertainment, and as well, she actually is an anchor for Channel 11. Her story is really the story of the Jewish people. She's an outstanding person. And what she's going to convey to us in a conversation today is really a sense of the home front, of where the Israeli people are, close to 100 days into this war. And first and foremost, we want to introduce her. Sivan, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, and thank you for everyone for watching.
Sivan, could you share with us, as someone who's doing features for the news, you're speaking to literally the length and breadth of Israel, different demographics in the population. Give us your sense of the home front, of the psyche, of the mentality, not of the soldiers, which is extremely high, but the psyche and the mentality of people on the home front.
So speaking as, of course, journalists, but also as just an Israeli here in Israel since October 7th, now 3 months into the war, it's rough. People are mainly just, I would say, surviving the daily day of being just an Israeli. I think almost every person in Israel has someone in their family, close family, friends that are either butchered on October 7th, either died in the field in Gaza, or being kidnapped to Gaza. Me, for example, I know I have a second cousin that died. He's from Golani. He died on October 7th in Be'eri. And I have a friend that was captivated in Hamas, with Hamas in Gaza, Shani Goren. She's released now. So I think all of us has someone that we know that something happened, and it's extremely difficult to stay as an Israeli, but also as a journalist. We are covering in Channel 11, where I work, the war since October 7th. And, people are being, at the moment, a little bit fed up with hearing so many rough stories. So for me, it's a challenge, and my channel, it's a challenge to frame and to find stories, but to tell it in a way that people can hear, because people are just, their mental health is being very low during the past 3 months. So this is, I think, the challenge now, because the war is, we don't know when it's going to end. We don't know if, the northern region will open and we will have a war with Lebanon. And so we do understand that it's a marathon, it's not a sprint, and we need to find a way to keep people with the highest moral that we can, because it is a marathon, and it will continue as we hear the Israeli government probably for the next few months.
Over the course of the war, have you done a number of, let's say, individual features where you focused on a family, you focused on a community that was hit October 7th? And if you could share with us maybe some of those stories and some of the things that you've gleaned from that.
So I was mainly responsible for covering the families of the hostages, and when the hostages brought back the first, deal, when 55 people coming back from Gaza. So I was responsible for being in the hospital, speaking with the families, speaking with the hostages that were coming back. And since then, of course, we are also covering the families that didn't got to see their families coming back from Gaza. I think there are so many stories, really, so many stories to tell, and that I heard for the past 3 months. I remember being with in Soroka Hospital. It's in Be'er Sheva. I think on the first day of the 55 people coming back from Gaza, and I was with the family of Mia and Itai with their mom. And I remember being with her, and she didn't see her kids for 50 days. They were in Gaza. She didn't even know if this will eventually happen, because you hear that they are coming back, but you're not sure, because how can you trust terrorists? And I remember talking to her. The last time she saw them was when all three of them went to Mexico. They celebrated her 50th birthday in Mexico. All the three of them, they were coming back to Israel on Friday, and then both of her kids went to the Nova Festival on Saturday morning. And so she was just excited, but also frightening, because you don't know what are you getting. You have two amazing children, and you don't know what happened to them with these terrorists. And so there are so many stories to tell and to unfold, because as you know, a lot of the people right now are just now talking about what they have been through. I remember speaking with Hagai Levine. He's a doctor, famous doctor in Israel. He's helping all the families of the hostages and the hostages that came back. And he told me that they hear horrible stories of what happened in Gaza, and we in the media can share, or us in Israel knows only 1% of what happened there. Sexual assaults and just mental abuse, physical abuse, and to us, understanding that it's almost 100 days that there are still over 100 people in Gaza without us knowing what's happening there. And when we hear more stories coming back from the people that are here, we do understand that as each day goes by, it's too much.
Before we went on to the broadcast, you shared there's a real sense that many people are emotionally drained. Not the soldiers. Soldiers have incredible spirit, incredible ruach. They have incredible determination. They know that ultimately this is a war for the future of Israel. But many people on the home front just feel very, very emotionally drained, and it's very challenging and taxing.
Right. So think about it as Israel is very small, right? It's a small country. In the north, we have thousands of people evacuated from their home. They are in hotels, in just rentals. It's a war outside, and they are not in their safe place. In the south, there are so many people in the hotels in Tel Aviv and around Israel, and so there are so many people that are not in their home, but there's a war. And so it affects them mentally, it affects them financially. We hear about a lot of people that aren't able to pay their mortgage and to go to universities and to just continue their lives. Violence is increased since, people are at home and their mental health is not good. And so you hear more and more people are the violence in the streets is increasing. And so I read this week an article in The Guardian. I would like to share it with you. It says journalists see their role as helping to win, how Israeli TV is covering Gaza war. It's an article in The Guardian that talks about how the journalist feels like we are responsible of helping Israel win the war. And I think maybe Israel is the only country that needs to defend itself so much, and the journalists needs to defend themselves so much, because it says the Israeli media have rarely presented their audience with such a uniformly patriotic vision of reality as they have over the past 3 months. And to me, I'm asking, after September 11th, the American journalists had to, cover the other side more than they are covering their side. I mean, the stories are horrible, and we are only sharing, I think, 20% of the horrible stories from October 7th and since then. And so our responsibility is also to help the moral of the Israelis, because, as you said, people are drained. It's from everywhere. We have terror attacks from the West Bank almost every day. And so we have from the northern border, from Hezbollah, and we have the what's happening in Gaza. We don't have any safe place to being. Everyone is in the center of Israel because the north is not safe, the south is not safe, and also what's happening in the West Bank is not safe. It affects the economy, it affects the moral, it affects everything. And so, yeah, I do think that one of the challenges, I think, for the Israeli government is to think of a long-term plan, because people are. It's been 3 months, and it will go on, and we need to have some sort of something to help the people in Israel.
If I could turn away from Israel today and speak to you. When we introduced you, we said you really embody everything that's wonderful and beautiful about the Israeli people, about the Jewish people. You could share with our participants a little bit about your background, your experience,
so I was actually
in the army, etc.
Yeah, so I was actually a lone soldier myself, due to unfortunate circumstances. My parents passed away when I was young, and I joined the army as a lone soldier. I didn't even know what it means to be a lone soldier. I remember the Mashakitash, the soldier that is helping the lone soldiers. She told me, you're a lone soldier. And I was like, I'm not alone. I don't understand the terminology. And she told me, no, that means that the army can help you, and there is an organization called FIDF. They are helping lone soldiers. And I was like, okay, I don't know what that means, but so let's see. And I remember I was in the IDF spokesperson unit working with foreign organizations on the legitimization of the IDF during wars, operations. And then I became an officer and got to the liaison unit, which is also working with foreign army attachés. I worked with Western European countries. I got the President's Excellence Award in 2015 due to my.
Just for our participants, that's an incredible award. Maybe 100 soldiers get that every year out of a huge army, and it's a dignified award, and it's something that's earned. So Sivan, I know it was a number of years ago, but you can imagine how proud we are of you that you get that award.
Right. And I continually saying that it was, I know it's, of course, I worked very hard during my 3 years of service, but it has a lot to do with the help that I got, because there are soldiers that, it's very hard to be in the army, in the service, without any support. And I got so much support from this organization. So it goes a long way, and it's exactly what I needed as an 18-year-old. Later on, I released from the army, and I got to bring back to the community, to the Ethiopian community in Israel, and also to other lone soldiers as myself. I started studying communications in the IDC, and then joined the Channel 11 news channel because I wanted to have a representation. I felt like as a young young girl in Israel, Ethiopian. I didn't have a lot of role models. My role model was all Oprah, but I didn't have an Israeli that I could look up to. And so to me, it was just, to help others, to be an example for people, to be their best, to work hard, to follow their dreams, and, just to be a good person with good values. And I think we have a lot of Israelis that are just like me. And I'm proud to be here, to be Israeli, and to work in the media, to help others, to share stories. I think that sharing stories is one of the main thing that you can feel like you have someone that you can sympathize with. So for me, it's a dream that I'm now living. So,
well, look, your story and what you've accomplished, really, you're a role model. You're a role model for so many young women, Israeli young women, Jewish women across the world.
Before I'm leaving you, I'm now heading to the Hostages Square, where I need to report on, the injury of one of the biggest singers in Israel, and Fauda star Aidan Ahmedi. He's injured. He got injured 2 days ago in Gaza. So I'm now going to report on that. So just wishing all the soldiers, all the people of Israel.
That's right. A refuah shlema to all the soldiers.
Right.
Thank you, Sivan. Thank you very much. At this time, we're turning over to Major General Nadav Padan to do a briefing and an analysis of what's happening in the field.
I wanted to start with a list of questions that have been sent to me and just organize the involvement of the Iranian and speaks about the situation in Israel from that perspective, and then move deeper into the situation at the south in Gaza Strip. So when people ask what kind of involvement, what kind of role the Iranian play in this war, and is it only encourage those terror organizations and provide them ammunition and technology? So it's not only that. It's all start with Iranian plan to take over Israel. As simple as that. The militia in Iraq, in Syria, got a mission a few years ago to be prepared to attack Israel. The Houthi in Yemen got an order from the Iranian a few years ago to get prepared to attack Israel. What they have to do with us? They don't know us. The Iranian use all their militias and Shia proxies all over the Middle East to become part of the huge plan to destroy the state of Israel. And inside Israel, to start cooperating with kind of a different kind of sun, which is the Palestinian terror organization. They are not part of the Shia, but they're part of the mission of destroying Israel. So they are like temporary friend of the Iranian. When I'm saying temporary, I can tell you that the Iran could not care less about what happened in Gaza Strip. They are using them just for their own needs. So the Iranian thought that they will be able to recruit the Arab Israelis that lives inside Israel, the Palestinian in Judea and Samaria and Gaza Strip, to become part of this war that will contain the Palestinian group inside Israel, the Hezbollah militia in Lebanon, the militia in Syria and in Iraq, and the Houthi. That was a huge support of the Iranian. Since a month ago, they didn't take responsibility for the attack in October 7. They said that they are not part of it, but they are supporting the wills of the Palestinian people to have freedom. Since months ago, they took responsibility. A minister in Iran took responsibility, and once they crossed the Rubicon, they're there. So we're not dealing with just with the challenge of Hezbollah or the challenge of Hamas in Gaza Strip. We're dealing with the challenge of the Iranian and the Middle East from strategic perspective. And when I go down to what happened from the north to the south, the update, I would say that Hezbollah keep the war, the friction along the border under the threshold of war, try to change the rule all over the border between Israel and Lebanon. By the way, if you hear between the line of Nasrallah declaration last week, you can hear that he didn't close the door for diplomatic solution. And if I can say, if I was him, I would adopt this diplomatic solution with my two hands, because they already showed that they can sign agreement, like they signed the 1701 agreement in 2006, and then slowly go back to the front line without Israel respond to that. When I go down south, I can say that there is changes in Judea and Samaria area. The attack and the operation that the IDF run in Judea and Samaria, it's a bit different than we used to see, which means that in the city of Tulkarem and in Jenin, it's not a battalion operation or special forces operation. It's an all reserve brigade that maneuver into the cities and destroy the cells of Hamas. In a way, the IDF take advantage of the friction and the situation of war, and do think that on a regular day we will prevent ourselves from doing so. It's an opportunity to clean those cells of Hamas, of terrorists inside the area of Judea and Samaria. If I go south to the Houthim, before getting deep into what happened in Gaza Strip itself, I can say that during the Bab el-Manda gate to the Red Sea and along the shore of Yemen, there is a war going on. This morning, the Houthim attacked two American battleships and makes damage to one of them. The British Navy and the American Navy declared that they destroy or tackle more than 20 drones over the last few days. So there is kind of war going on there to keep the naval routes open. It's a global war to keep the routes that connect between Asia and Europe. It's not only a local issue of Israel. The Houthis attack ships from all over the world: Italian, British, Canadian, and Israelis. When it comes to Gaza Strip, there is three things that are going on right now. First of all, the IDF concluded a mission to take over as part of Gaza Strip. The city of Gaza and the towns surrounding it are already taking over. Here and there is two terrorists there and two terrorists here that pump up with RPG, but they are not connected to any chain of command, any structure. The all 12th battalion and the two brigades that responsible for the north part of Gaza have been destroyed. And the IDF keep cleaning the tunnels, the subterranean system, and get rid of the lost local cell that, as I mentioned, not connect to any chain of command at this part of Gaza Strip. There is three other large operations that's running in Gaza Strip. One at the city of Khan Younis. In Khan Younis, we're using different kind of method. We're surrounding the city, and we're launching a special operation into the center of gravity of the city. That because of a few reasons. First, we know that there is hostages inside the city. And second, we're trying to reach the leadership of Hamas. And we think that part of them are still there. When it comes to the third effort of this operation is to destroy the lost cells of the terror organization in Deir al-Balah. at the center, and the last one is along the border between Egypt and Gaza Strip, what we call Philadelphia corridor. Israel is negotiating with the Egyptian to try to get a technical and tactical solution along the border that prevent the smuggling that occur even today along this border. We're trying to get to the agreement that will build the same kind of obstacle that we built all around the Gaza Strip fence. I mean, the wall that dig inside the ground with sensor. That's what we're trying to do there. So the effort continued there. And parallel to that, there is two other efforts. One is humanitarian effort to support the Palestinian people that withdraw from the north and from the center to the Mawasi area, to the south part of Gaza Strip. You've heard Blinken today and yesterday. It's not exactly that we're not allowed in truck to get in. It's the Palestinians that are not ready to accept them and welcome them. So we're trying to find POCs that could, get those humanitarian support without with making sure that it won't take over by the terror organization Hamas and the Islamic Jihad. This war to clean the center and the south of Gaza will take few months. The IDF already declared that it won't be ended till the end of the year. So we're saying it again and again. It's a long war. It's not necessarily continue like it is right now. Well, the IDF will change the method and the tactic up to the context, up to the change in the field. But the idea is to destroy the Hamas as a military organization, destroy the ability to control Gaza Strip, release our hostages at the south, and at the north to push Hezbollah Radwan forces north to the Litani River, 5 kilometers from the Israeli north to the Israeli border. At the north has been mentioned. It seems that we can reach some kind of diplomatic agreement. I'm not putting all my card on it, but it's an opportunity. And if not, the IDF will have to push the Hezbollah troops by force north to the river. That's the plan for the next few months. When it comes to the FIDF, people are asking me again and again, what are you doing with the money? Why not only money run to the right places? So we connected all the money to projects. That we have no free dollars. We are still looking for a lot of other sources because, as I mentioned, it's going to be a long war, and we'll have to continue and support the soldier months after months after months. And parallel to that, to support our project to help the IDF with the rehabilitation project of wounded soldier that's suffering from PTSD, and the rehab of our facility that support the well-being of the soldier at the south and at the north. So we are 100% deep into this project, and then we say again and again and again, 100% of our support, 100% of our dollars, of your dollars, go directly to the soldier, to support the well-being of the soldier, the rehab of our veterans after the war. That's what we're doing, and what we're planning to do the next few months. Steve.
Major General Padan, thank you very much. Peace to the soldiers, safety, security to the soldiers, and to the people of Israel. All the best.